guys, welcome to Music at Campfire Creek. This is probably the easiest set that you're going to see because most of the pieces are recycled from previous years or pulled from other places, other sets. You'll see a lot of things that are familiar to you. One of the first things you'll probably notice about the set is the backdrop, and this actually was one that we used for Boomerang Express last year. If you're going to all the trouble of actually painting a backdrop, you might as well make sure that it's something you can use year after year after year after year. So this one's just very basic with a sunset scene, but you could use clouds and blue sky or whatever you have on hand. It certainly is not necessary, but it does give it kind of a nice look. Probably the main feature of Campfire Creek is the actual creek itself. You're going to want to make sure that that's there. And this one is very simple. You can fill it with tulle or with blue cellophane, or we just used tissue paper right here because it was the easiest thing to pack, and you can reuse it again and again and again. But whatever you've got on hand, tablecloths even work really well. And we've lined our creek here with styrofoam rocks, and I'll even pick one up for you so you can see. I'll grab a little one and I'll grab a big one, and you can see it on the back side. It's just scraps of chunk styrofoam. You can find it for free in places like Sears or Best Buy or anywhere you're going to buy large electronics. You can find it at furniture stores, or you can buy it, but it does get a little pricey if you buy it. But if you just get scraps of styrofoam, you can cut it into roughly the shape that you want, and just like Pam talked about earlier with a heat gun technique, you can use that same heat gun to melt it down a little bit, round it up, and it'll shape it for you. It's pretty easy to do. And then if you'll paint it with a paintbrush and a latex wall paint, you can paint it gray or brown or whatever color you'd prefer. Paint it first with that, because spray paint will eat away styrofoam and it'll just disintegrate in your hand. So make sure you paint it first, and then you can come back in and texture it with some darker paints. We just use a spray paint at about 6-8 inches away just to hit it very lightly with a darker color of paint. It gives it a little bit more of a realistic look. And this is something that's a little bit different than what you've seen. I know that you've already heard about the end caps here for the logs, and that's just insulation board, and we use the wood burner and a little bit of paint to make it look like the end of a log. But inside is a concrete form, which is a cardboard tube that you can buy at any Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever your hardware store of choice is. And you can also use carpet tubes, but the concrete form is a bit larger diameter. And then we just bought foam. You can see it's about 1 inch foam, and you can find it at Joann's. This one is yellow, which I chose on purpose. You can find it in green and pink and yellow, but the yellow is good because once you cut it, you don't have to worry about having a green log or a pink log inside. So just wrap it first, and then go ahead and paint it with a foam-safe spray paint. You have to make sure that you buy the better paint so that it doesn't disintegrate. But paint it. You can tell that you don't even have to paint it very well. You can see patches that are light where it's not been not a lot of paint's been applied, and some patches are darker where a lot of paint has been. So it gives it a little bit more of a realistic feel. And then once it's dry, you can go ahead and take your knife and just come in and slit it up. You can you just score it. Some places you can score very deeply. Some places do it very shallow, and that gives you the differences in the grain here in the wood. All right, I'll just pop this out for you so you can see inside the concrete form here. Now this one was we actually recycled, so you can see the wood that's inside it there. Was used when it was about 8 feet tall, and we needed to reinforce it. Then I just cut it into 3 different logs. So yours, of course, won't have wood inside it. But then you just cut a piece of insulation board to fit, pop it right in. I know you've seen these downspouts before. We're using them all over the place this year. And this is just a scrap section, and if you can see here, it's just sunk down inside a scrap piece of styrofoam. So you just create a little base, just get a little block and just press it down in, and then you have a ready-made base.